Dandavat Sahadev. If you can, yes, rotate your camera. For YouTube, it's maybe the image is too loft, but it will be the right perspective. So, yes, my head is there, so maybe it's good enough. Can you hear me? So, dear friends, today we got together on this very special time, Kartika month, dedicated to Srimati Radharani. This month is historically for the harvest, November, December, and on this month, many important events happen. Sridhar Maharaj's appearance day, Govardhana-puja that is happening today, and along with that, we sing many beautiful songs. Damodarashtaka is one of them. This song is about the fact that inconquerable absolute is being conquered by love. The absolute, Krishna, allows his mother Yashoda to punish him for his misdeeds. And in these songs, and our teachers explain that this rope, this is actual love, this rope that is always too short. Ajita becomes Jita, conquerable, thankfully to devotion. And extension of Bhagavad Gita, when Mahaprabhu says where the true spirituality begins, Ramananda Rai says, it means the one who rejects intellectualism and serves by his body, mind, and his speech, that one can conquer the absolute. So this is the journey from intellectualism to love. Something real that Mahaprabhu confirms. And when Sridhar Maharaj was asked, what is faith? He said that the faith is such a wonderful substance that the child of someone who has the position of big boss, a president, he can pretend for his child being a horse. This is the nature of love. And this month of Kartika is month of dedication, of love. We try to focus on the inner deep sentiments of Vaishnavism, and we chant Rupa Goswami's prayers and bhajans. And we're very lucky that we have recordings of these songs. We can sing, we can chant, we can meditate on meanings of these bhajans. This amazing topic, love, and we often talk about love with others and how to balance. How do we find balance between sacrifice and serving others and serving our families in material world? It happens that the sacrifice gets exploited. So how to balance, to not lose the sight of our principles and at the same time continue serving to our loved ones. Certainly, if it was that easy, we would all probably achieve that. Sometimes we hear, 100% devotion. Basically, we talking about some ideal. Vaishnavism is the religion of ideals. So these ideals we use like a guiding stars from life to life. Everything what we learned about from Sridhar Maharaj. So, we can have ideal, like mundane ideal, and that is easily achieved. But Vaishnava's ideal is very hard to reach. When we talk about Prapadana Jivanamritam, all books of Sridhar Maharaja, this is scriptures of ideals, the mood of highest devotees. The deity in our hearts, the way it guides us sometimes towards the bed to have some nap. But when we read books Sridhar Maharajas, we sometimes think, it's impossible. And yes, that's how it's supposed to be. And it's one of the statements of Saraswati Thakura. We dedicate everything material to Raga Marga, destination of love. When the most sacred service is done on Radha Kunda, we don't try to stay there, to remain there in the most sacred place of Radha Kunda. We come there for service and then retreat back. It is said, the one who sleeps not enough or too much, that man would probably leave the path of devotion. So, Sridhar Maharaja explains, it's a long way and we need to understand, not a short distance, it's a marathon. And the key to the survival on this path, as it happens, at the start, we're full of enthusiasm. When we just unpacked Sukriti, it feels like we can do with our with our own energy, to achieve what we need through this reality. But on the middle way, we understand it's really far. The destination is really far. So we reach out for help. We reach out for support from devotees, association, connection. Every evening is like, I may feel sad. I might want some sweets. So the best support is Vaishnavas, association. Newcomers, a very good association because they're full of enthusiasm and inspiration. We just started Bhakti school and, we observed this enthusiasm, lots of inspiration, and we feel inspired too. Bhakti Sharan Maharaj says that in reality, when we're looking at the newcomers, we can feel, we can see the beauty of Krishna consciousness. When newcomers share, the insights, and we maybe lost this taste, forgot how it used to be like. So on the middle path, on the middle way, we need to be around devotees that can support us. As Beatles sing, this is for Zoomers, in this song, Help, in their song, there was a time when I felt that I can do anything, but now I need help. So sometimes it's a mystical way. We can see that some devotees, they get some help. Some people do their best to not lose enthusiasm. And some people who, visibly lose this taste, not necessarily committed some aparatas. Arjuna asked Krishna, if I lose the sight of path of devotion, if I leave this path, what's going to happen? Krishna replied that you're going to continue this journey, this path anyway. You will take birth in the family of Vaishnava. You will continue. As minimum, you will receive human form, human body, and you will find devotees. They will find you. And next life, yes, Bhagavad Gita do not guarantee, comfortable accommodation and 3-bedroom apartment. Yet, still, he reminds Arjuna about necessity of chanting 16 rounds of Mahamantra and drinking milk. So, we need to do our minimum. One of the concepts of Sridhar Maharaj was that spiritual life has to be real. Some American poet said, do not trust future. Let the past bury the corpse. But live in the now, here and now, be guided by present moment. Something good may happen, but this good may come in the form of like, oh, I fall in love, now I need work, etc. We can get distracted by anything. We can get distracted literally by every little thing. So the main principle is, even if we feel that we get distracted, we are in crisis, we are overburdened psychologically, we need to find a way to the association of devotees. To be inspired constantly, we need to achieve, like a senior level of development, to be spiritually mature. When someone asks how often you experience spiritual enlightenment, I'm like, get a little bit confused. Did I answer your question? Yes, I understood that it's kind of normal, this extremes to the total sacrifice, self-sacrifice, and then something opposite. Yes. And especially when we have some service, especially if you in the position of managing So the self-sacrifice have to be, according to the position. It's not always required. We have a question from Nazar. What's the secret of your very inspired mood? Is it the quality of your character or mercy from above? How can you explain your mood? First and foremost, I'm not always in this kind of mood, joyful, etc. I'm very human in that sense, and I'm not really a temple man, so not regular visitor of arities. So yeah, I can relate to human life, but by the mercy of devotees, by the mercy of Lord, once in a while we are in this mood, we feel this taste, we feel the interest to spiritual life. Maybe it's not such easy thing to achieve. As Vaishnavas say, it's very fine substance. It's easier for us to enjoy the material things like, apple pie or something, or, physical intercourse. But something related to spiritual is different flavor, different taste. As Hrishikesh Maharaj says, we're trying to tune in with something very fine. I don't experience this kind of enlightenment very often. Hrishikesh Maharaj achieves that through austerities and fasting, this fine tuning. I can say that obviously, I got inspired by Gurudev and other devotees. Massive impact on me. One way or another, some Sukriti, I guess, is there. But we need to understand that if we feel burnout, we need to try to recharge, restore, still be optimistic. Maybe we lost this super enthusiastic mood and approach to Krishna consciousness. Maybe just we grew up a little bit. One way or another, if we look inside your heart, we know that this beautiful reality that our teachers are talking about exists. And when I feel it, I start smiling. But it's far away from me, this kind of standard that Gurudev, he was always on that plane. So sometimes I really like walking around the streets and with the face of hamster and full of negative thoughts, as so we're trying to somehow connect to this mood and feel inspiration. So yeah, sometimes this inspiration is there. Yes, I've heard people come, people go, leave. So how can we understand when others get upset? about relationships, conflicts with our devotees. So we have expectations from our devotees, to be a certain way, but we get disappointed. Well, it's a common problem in the realm of religion. Once I've heard one lecture, and it was said, even in the Christian path, people come to monastery, they stay. So my friend taught in monastery, and then he's like, I saw this and that and all sorts of things. So Sridhar Maharaj says about this, regards this. My cat is experiencing existential crisis. I need to help her. Please don't bother me. Stay here or stay there, be somewhere. Now, practicing compassion towards cats. So where was I? Okay, from the other side. So my compassion is still there. Okay, it's pointless. The last thing I remember, so Sridhar Maharaj said that about rose. It's beautiful flower, but why it has thorns? Why would it have thorns? But the one who is charmed by the aroma, he will be ready, willing to accept the thorns. So Vaishnavas are very nervous, fine, sensitive personalities. We need to be very cautious with Vaishnava apparatus. So we need to tolerate this. And focus on the Vaishnava essence in every devotee. And devotee may, behave in some strange way. And we can forget that this person is somehow, connected with the Lord. So in everyone, these parts are present. The material part, the ego, and the essence of Vaishnava part. In every project and during all the exhibitions, when we're trying to get together and do something together, surely we see some sparks, someone get upset, misunderstandings, but that's the stage for us to practice humility and tolerance. It's easy for sure to sit home and just chant mantra and see ourselves as, very spiritual personalities. But when you go somewhere where you really need to practice, it gets much harder. So Sridhar Maharaj reminds us, yes, this is the most important, to practice humility and tolerance with devotees. So then, if at least one devotee melts our heart and inspires us, we have a chance to remain on this path. But if you expect from everyone in the temple to meet you with dandavats, expecting from everyone this, inevitably, even cat will try to manage you and show you who is really the main guy. So the question is, what if we can serve with devotees but really can't be friends with them, like fail to build some friendship with devotees? Well, along with idea of devotee, this idea of friend of devotee. Not every materialist or someone who's practicing Buddhism or anything else is wrong, association. Sometimes, we have friends outside of our circle, as long as they do not like abstract, take us away from this path. If they're not hostile towards devotees. Some parents support relatives, but it's kind of sad when we don't get support from devotees. But we need to remember about this like first stage inspiration and enthusiasm. We all sleep in one room on the floor, but when we get mature, grow up, some things, surely some tension, some problems, they build up and come on the surface. We become a real family with real relationships. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj used to say that we need to extract from bad agreement the best thing. We always need to search ways to communicate and remain on this path. So where does it come from, this idea that we need to avoid materialists? I don't think it mentioned anywhere in Bhagavad Gita, anywhere else. Yes, it is. This idea exists, like avoid everything what is not about devotion. And we avoid those who are really negative towards devotional path. For example, if like our partner becomes, like really hostile, and like some wife, cooks meat just to, go against, that will be hard. For that reason, our teachers do not recommend us to stay for too long in a holy place. Some people want to remain in Chiang Mai or next to Avadut Maharaj. So this idea I want to be next to Acharya. Not always good one. We need special blessings for this. But I've met some people that at some point, would be kind of against the path. And I felt that it's affecting me with a negative outlook upon life. If you hang out with them for too long, yes, you get affected. You get influenced by that. So yeah, I've experienced this. Without faith, you get affected if someone talks negative things about our teachers, etc. But in the association of real Vaishnavas, you feel the presence of Krishna. So practically this exists, even in family life. They begin blame, initiate conflict with devotee. This is surely is not beneficial for spiritual life. I had a friend, and that friend was once in a bus, and he said, that woman there, she was so stupid. And I asked, was there anyone who was smart, nice, wise? So these kind of vulnerable personalities, first time you don't feel this negative influence, second time, but inevitably, in the same way when we're associating with Mayavadis, it kind of gets under our skin. Do you have a question from Nazar? Not sure if it's the right question to ask. How Sridhar Maharaj would extract the shlokas that he used in his books? Well, most of his shlokas easy to find through Google. It's very rare that some shlokas Google wouldn't find, but the internet now is developed enough. So thankfully to ISKCON that created Bhaktivedanta database. So yeah, 90% of times the shloka is getting found by search engine. Any other question? You can raise your hand and ask any question. Can you hear me? Today is Govardhana-puja. I would love to hear something about this special day. If we can't go to the temple, how can we celebrate when we're far away from the temple, from devotees? What can we do to maintain this mood of service? if at least you have one or two devotees where you are, you still have access to them. It's great if you get together, chant some bhajans, make some halava, offer to Gurudev, to the Lord. But if you are completely on your own, we have internet, Hare Krishna Ru. I can say some things, but there's at least two lectures about Govardhan. When I speak about Govardhan and only Govardhan for almost 2 hours, there's few lectures by Goswami Maharaj and others. So on these special days, we can use this opportunity. It's really magical. We can listen to Srila Gurudev's classes. So amazing. So, you can make yourself a tea and listen to Harikatha by Govinda Maharaj. So we celebrate Govardhan, sweet mountain. Govardhan is Krishna himself in one hand, and on the other one is Krishna Das, the servant of Krishna, at the same time as Raghunath Das. Right? Govardhan gives shelter, shade, fruits, grass, everything to Brajabasis and Gopis. So Govardhan, that's the idea of service on a respectful distance. Saraswati Thakur used to say, our destination is Govardhan, and we just come to Radhakunda for service, and then we retreat. We don't stay on Radhakunda. Govardhan is connected to that idea. Service in the distance, respectful distance. We not try to be the part of Supreme Reality. We maintain a respectful distance. So the practical meaning of this, one wants to become a monk and live with Acharya, leave everything. But if our seniors don't give us blessing for such life, then it's just, a self-will. So Krishna said, why do you worship Indra? Govardhan gives us everything. And revenge by Indra is that thundercloud. And this constant rain, and Krishna is compared this moment when he picks up the Govardhan with his one hand, like kid picks up the mushroom. So in Krishna-lila, there's no condition. The mystical possibilities are endless. In 5 square meters could fit in like thousands of people. And that's the energy of Yoga Maya. So it's obvious that it's a miracle, a kid lifting up a hill. So that's how Yogamaya works. But cowherds, they're worried about Krishna. They're like trying to help him, and they pick up their sticks and they're trying to support Govardhan as well. And this is the dealing of Yogamaya. In this space, servants forget that they're servants. The Lord forgets that He is the Lord, and they live like a family. So all the devotees love Govardhan, and it all often rains on this day. I remember this story when we had a festival at my life, out of the city in a tent, and we had this Giriraj. He participated in the festivals. So this festival, he stayed in a tent. We had this kind of altar, and then the rain started. So, when you set up the tent with mistakes, rain gets through, and this is what happened. And the devotees pick up the sticks, and they started, supporting the roof of the tent to protect Giriraj from the rain. And I'm like, oh, this looks like something. And I will never forget this picture. It will always stay in my heart. So Govardhana-puja is a very happy event. And at the end of it, Indra gives Surabhi cow to Krishna. Sun comes out. All the devotees love Govardhana-puja. Govardhan is very merciful. And most of our spiritual centers, first, they install Giriraj Govardhan first, and after some time, followed by Radha Krishna, Mahaprabhu. So the story is about, it was scary, it was dark, but then everything got resolved. Sweet celebration, sun goes out. It's very optimistic, very joyous Lila. This is the way in the same way Krishna trolls Indra in Brahma Mohana Lila, when Brahma steals cowherd boys and cows. In such Lilas, Krishna reveals 4 his unique qualities: beauty, his associates, and his Lilas. And when we talk about Brahma Vimohana Lila and Govardhana-lila, this is example of mystical, magical dealings of Krishna Lila. Is there a symbolic meaning of Krishna lifting Govardhan hill above his head, and in this way establishing the position of Govardhan higher than his head? No, I didn't hear anything like this. Some people say, we are in stress, how can we practice Krishna consciousness? Even cats get stressed. No, it's just, the fact that to protect Brajabasis, he needed to lift something, and that something was Govardhan. symbolism, the meaning, the sweet meaning, other Catholic boys also supported Govardhan, helped Krishna. Well, the other big question, everything in the hands of God. Do I really have a choice? Do we really act? If God, everything is in His hands. There's a school of cat and school of monkey. Baby monkey holds his mom, but baby cat doing nothing. Cat picks him up and takes wherever she believes is right. So we follow the school of monkey. So translating into practical language, we need to do something. We need to act in order for God to help us. These kind of examples, Srila Prabhupada used to give examples like cat owners really serve their cats. We work out our old karma, but we keep creating our future karma. We have power to change something. So Bhagavad Gita says we need to remember that we're not the center of the world, and we need to keep trying to adjust, to act towards the right destination. One American general said that there's no point in planning in a war, but it's inevitable. We still have to. So we try to plan. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail. And that's the school of monkey. But when we talk about very high, elevated souls, like Jesus Christ used to give example of birds. They don't plant seeds, they don't grow wheat. Still they get nourishment. So Raga Marga says they just fully rely on the Lord. They forget themselves completely. But we need to keep trying to set up goal, to achieve it, to act towards our goal. Any astrologer would say that there's some tendencies, but still it can be flexible. So be cautious, be careful with all kind of destiny readings. Yeah, some tendencies existing, but this kind of consultation is not, written in the stone. Nadia Priya asked, what can we do? Well, we can at least, gather here, is participate in a live, and every temple, they're broadcasting their program now, so we can be in distance, but closer than before. And in conclusion, what insights are recent and important for you that you would like to share? In conclusion, well, maybe it's not the most enlightening topic, as Srila Vadut Maharaj says. Sometimes we're not qualified enough to only think about spiritual life. Sometimes we just need to make sure that we remain on this path. Maybe we're not capable of something major. There's a movie about someone who keeps trying to do something but faces the same day all over and over again. Nothing changes. So for us, we need to keep trying to transform, to change. And often we can't succeed from first attempt, from second, from third. We need to keep trying. So each of us, we need to keep trying to achieve some sort of perfection. Srila Sridhar Maharaj reminds us that every attempt on this path towards this destination matters. Bhagavad Gita says, keep trying to act. All we have is keep trying. Yes, we can't expect, unfortunately. All our plans, everything what we built, it's just getting destroyed. And this is like some weird TV show. What's in next episode? When we used to joke at the time of pandemic. We can say that sometimes we used to think in 90s that we're gonna achieve moon, humanism is winning. But if we look at the lifetime of the world, constantly happens. Some dark times take place. It's impossible to find a place with a perfect weather in this world. So we need to keep trying to find the sun inside. With the help of our surroundings, association with devotees as well. And remember that all these circumstances, they can't really influence us on the deepest core level. And maintain sadhusanga, books, lectures, they exist for this reason, to help us. Thank you, dear friends. On this note, I'm very happy to see everyone. Remain on the transcendental wave. So there's many of us. Jai Kartika. Haribol. Jai. 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 Jai.